Greetings, this is Calcat the Calcatster. It's on hand in character as Clint Cowpoke for the, now I'm back to me, for Silicon Valley Comic Con 2018, and this is the recap show. The slideshow for today is about 18 minutes long, and I'll make that different, and I'll discuss different things on there. I'll discuss what actually was going on during the slides. I'll try to make it more different than what's discussed here, even though there's going to be some crossover appeal. The first day of the convention was dreary and wet and drizzly, and there weren't very many people out there. They were gonna start opening around 5, as it turned out when I got there at noon. 12:30 or so, and went over, and anticipating that, I went over to the transit authority thing and got another bus pass update, and then I went to Backyard, which is a Caribbean Islander food restaurant for lunch. It's probably going to be packed there tomorrow, but it was very good. I like that. Recommended by Alma from the church, and also by John. Oops, I said his name. Well, Mark's Cards. Anyway, yes, Mark's Cards, and yes. So yeah, I went there, and I also texted him during the afterward, say they liked it, and he sent a hilarious picture of a Jamaican guy saying "Yaman" or something. Yeah, so we're not gonna post that. Anyway, and then commenting on finding Mary Jane's, Mary Jane, yeah, Spider-Man's girlfriend. No, we didn't find any of that. Yeah, so I had a lot of time to kill, so to speak. I mentioned it on the video. A lot of it couldn't be heard on the video because you get a lot of street feedback and noise and stuff. But yeah, so I walked by the Museum of Art, which also did acting classes for teenager children in the 80s, of which I was part of their acting thing that they did with, oddly enough, Tim Cantrell, Big Tim. Yeah, we did a commercial for Westinghouse bulbs or something silly like that. Yeah, commercials. Not Toys R Us commercial, although that little kid kind of looks like me, but no, it wasn't me. That would be awesome, but no, there's no IMDb with anyway, so, and then I went over to the Dead Town Theater and the other Dead Theater, and over by the other various movie houses that had gone under since they'd been reopened over the past decade or so. There was a sort of a Camera 3, but it's now sort of a lounge club. I don't know what's going on with that. I understand there are movies somewhere downtown. Find them. The Tech was open, so I went to the Tech and saw the shark movie, the sharks. Look at sharks on the big IMAX screen. I might go back just to see some other IMAX movie over there, because it's not that expensive. We'll see. Yeah, so the convention started at 5. The people started lining up. They didn't like the idea that that I had not put my wristband thing on my wrist, but rather put it on my keychain. But I couldn't take it off my keychain, so it's on my keychain. So anybody can go in, and that's not true. Not anybody can go in. No. Anyway, some candy. Yeah. That I didn't eat. I brought it, but until now. Yeah, so hopefully tomorrow there will be some panels and some discussion groups. go in and watch those. Hopefully the hotel will be open and there'll be some stuff in there too. At some point, hopefully we encounter, at some point, Stan Lee. Say hi, Stan Lee. Yeah, I suspect the people that didn't get, there was a, okay, first of all, let me get to the Stan Lee line at the end. But it's going to be in the slideshow. Yeah, I went into the dealer's room. They had taken out the game room part of the dealer's room, which is normally, really they usually use that room for the games if it's Fanime. They use it for Fanime's game. But they took out the partition, they folded it back, so that they could have a larger amphitheater for more dealers. That means they're going to sell stuff, dealers. So they did that. And they also took over the room behind it, which also had some other dealers. So a huge dealer's room, gigantic. The whole, probably 10,000 square feet in there. It's really big. Maybe 8,000, 8.5 if it was like long and slender. I don't think they're using the art gallery. I think they're using everything else. And they moved over part of the galleries for the photo ops are in the back of the whole thing, so they kind of all put it in one place. I'll have to get a events map type of thing there, or just wander around and look for signs because they're going to be there. But yeah, So the John Stanley group, the Lord Bloodraw and all that were still there in the back. I talked to the cast there that had returned about the blogs and things. Mainly I talked about the Milpitas Monster because Robert Burrell wasn't there, but this guy had recently met him. And a couple of years ago I mentioned Robert Burrell was the guy that did the Milpitas Monster movie, and what transpired since I had seen Mr. Stanley's group last, that I had been to 2 of Robert Burrell's events as a blogger and covered them on my blog, but it really wasn't an official. I know I said it was, I'm not a professional blogger or anything. I just put it up on my website. He let me, and then he said, like, okay, you want to edit some of this down, and it's too long. Stuff like that. But yeah, so there was a little direction there. Yeah, so, but this new guy didn't know anything about that. His friend found it interesting that he was actually meeting somebody who had siblings and a father who was in the Milpitas Monster. Yes, my late father was in the Milpitas Monster movie. He was the councilman that jumps up at the end. They knew that scene. They're like, oh, wow, that's cool. But yeah, so actually in a local, nationally known cult horror movie. Yes, but the movie that I was in was Nessun Dorma. Yes, they cut my scene out though. I was in that scene with my sister. We were supposed to be background characters in a diner, eating crappy Chinese food. It was like sitting there all day. It was nasty. We were not actually touching it. When they film a movie in the diner scene, they're usually like, it's all day and it was all warm. It's gross. Hey, it was horrible. We weren't going to touch it. We're just pretending to touch it. Even though the movie was a gay thriller, nothing happened. We're in the movie. We didn't know what it was until it came out. We're like, oh, this is a gay thriller. Oh, okay. Okay, whatever. It was the early 2000s. What are you going to do? You're extras in a story, in an independent film. We didn't get to see anything horrible or anything, or anything sexual. Nothing happened. We did get to help with the direction of a scene where there was the director kept going over this guy punching this other guy. They're lovers, and the one guy punches the other guy because he's mad at him because they're male lovers. And we got that. We got that was going on, and he kept punching the guy in the face like he, gave him a love tap, sort of, And he kept punching him, but then the guy kept he kept directing him to fall forward, and everybody was saying something wrong with this scene. It's not working right. And the director was like, "Oh, turn this way or that way, or turn the." And finally, I said, and finally, I was not the only one. Among me and some other people said, extras. We're extras. We're not supposed to talk. We said like we were like, no. He gets punched in the schnoz. He's gonna go ah. He's not gonna go forward. He's gonna go ah. He gets punched in the schnoz. You know. They didn't fix it. Oh, you turned to the left. The look is good. No, you should have went. Oh well, you punch a guy in the nose. You know what I'm saying? Fight choreography was not that particular director's cup of tea. Yes. But if you're gonna make a thriller, you probably should learn how that works. Just a thought. So this other guy done a bunch of horror thrillers and horror host stuff, and apparently Blood Raw is now on TV. And, yeah, you can see him on local access channels like 36 and stuff. Watch him on TV. I mentioned that my blog did a Halloween special episode, Watched Bucket of Blood. And we did that on my channel, and he saw it. He was like, yeah, it was cool. But yeah, so that was cool. He's like, yeah, your channel might be up and coming eventually. But yeah, it's not nearly as big as anything they're doing. But yeah, the reviews channel is somewhat known to some people. Yes, and the strange mystery of the last year, there was a Silly Kelly and a Clint Cowpoke, and at the convention, not this year, but last year there was. Not yet this year, anyway. And Mark Carter said, "That's impossible. There can't possibly be so it's not possible that you had fans already on your show. The only way that would work is if, you're like the 6 subscribers you've got went to the convention." That is what happened, actually. Those two people were actually from the church. So it was a setup. Yes. I don't know who they were, but it was a setup. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I actually did know who they were, of them. It's like, no, he's not popular. It's advertising. Yeah. But yeah, Clint Cowpoke. And there was a third guy that didn't count, but he was just dressed up like the Nostalgia Critic. No, I'm not ripping off those guys over there at Stone Gremlins and Nostalgia Critic. I just dress kind of like them. It was coincidence, totally. I was not trying to emulate them, and yeah, it's also a coincidence. People were wearing flannel because it was in that year. Not as much this year. There weren't as many costumed people this year. There was a lot of Deadpools. There were some Harley Quinns with baseball bats, even if they were fake. I'm surprised I let them in. There was some other stuff. Also, I read the rules and guidelines regarding the people that can present, which of course Calcat shows a long way from being in that category. And in the rules regarding the because they had time. The rules regarding whether you could have a panel or do a discussion thing. You could have a table if you have something to sell that's related to the convention. You could already do that, but you don't really. What they said in the commentary thing for the videos is that if you want to, what they said in the they have for press people they can go in there and they have a special press kit thing. They pay extra money to get in and do the press thing and do the show. I'm not, so I'm just there. One of the other guideline, the other caveat was that it all has to be related to Comic-Con somehow, to comics, to collectibles, to things. you can't just go in there and say, I want to have a panel. You have to be kind of known in order to have a panel. There are ways around that, but yeah, you have to be known. If you're a YouTube personality, the Comic-Con Silicon Valley rules are that you have to have 50,000 subscribers and at least one viral video, which means, that's 500,000 views or more. So if you don't, you're not going to get your own panel. That's not going to happen. Currently, the highest grossing channel that I have, maybe 8,000 views, hardly anywhere near that, for the whole thing. 52 subscribers on one channel. Not even close. But after 10 years, and it has no advertising, it has no AdSense. Now they did take the AdSense possibilities away because I don't have 10,000 subscribers. So they did do that. YouTube did that to everybody. Which is not to say that they were punishing just everybody, but all content users. Fortunately, I was not making any money on YouTube, so therefore I did not lose any money on YouTube, and still I'm there. So I can't complain because I didn't lose any money. It was a gamble, but I already knew the odds. So yeah, and I didn't lose anything, so I can't complain about whether my channel doesn't get enough views. It'd be nice if it did. Yeah. Anyway, so there's a thing. Gonna post the thing about that later, but I already went on about that last night. This is a review of Comic-Con though, so I went by the Metro where I had an internship, and took a trip there. There's a vague mention of that. It was at San Jose State. Back 10 years earlier, I was warned by a professor. I'm not going to name her name. Professor who said that if you work for a tabloid, you'll never work in the regular professional journalism. She's kind of snooty, this professor. This is years ago. This is not the 2000s professor. This is a 1990s professor. Needless to say, doing an internship at a tabloid, which I did not lead to me getting a professional newspaper career. So she was kind of right, but kind of wrong. By the mid-2000s, or late 2000s, most journalism had become like a tabloid anyway. So even though I couldn't have found a job in something other than a tabloid as a result of working at the paper that goes out in the bus stations, doing that as an internship, I could get a job doing that if I wanted to. So bad. And as I jokingly said to the Fox watching relatives, including my mother, I could get a job at Fox. You know why? They're a tabloid. It's like I wouldn't, but I could. They would take me. They'd be like, yeah. But yes, so this is my review of the convention. Toward the end, there was toward the end of searching around in the kind of going around in circles. Searching around in the thing, came across the Winter Twins from 3 years ago at Baycon, or one of them anyway, one of the Winter Twins from the Baycon thing. That was when there was a writing workshop where they suggested combining two elements of different stories together, kind of a Mercedes Lackey ideal. They've since gotten up contact with Mercedes Lackey and have done, and someone else, someone else too. And they've done collaborations. So they did do that. But what I did in the meantime is I had rewritten the fictional adventures stories of On Location in two different forms. As I didn't tell them this, but at the show, what I did is I said, okay, how can I make the fictional adventures stoner comedy space. Nod to the 80s interesting. Somebody else had gone on to do something like that called Ready Player One, which is a movie. But that was years earlier, and the same idea. Let's make an '80s themed something. Well, just in case it was video games. So yeah, that was really not connected, except that that person did something similar. Maybe a better example is The Martian, which was later discussed last year, where somebody took an idea of this Martian guy but did something different with it. So the idea was doing something different with something, you know. So basically, my idea at the writing workshop was not either of those things. What I wanted to do was take the stoner comedy and put it somewhere different. So I said, well, the space colony idea, I'll tell you what I'll do. We get like a holodeck simulation thing in space, and the stoners are living on a spaceship, and they don't quite realize it's a spaceship, but they do. And that became Years After Leaving, which is a series that is sitting on the back burner, but is coming out. Yes, a science fiction stoner comedy where the joke is that the slacker type stoners and Marx cards loved that idea. The slacker guys actually save the universe. Yeah, they actually succeed in helping mankind because the rich aristocratic butthole people they got ahead of them in space travel and ruined it when they get to the colony. But when the stoners show up, they're all like, dude, we can totally help you fix everything, man. Dude, but first, we have to get stoned. Bongs out. Something like that. Anyway, that's not exactly how it goes, but the joke is that, the slackers save the day, which is awesome. Maybe Kevin Smith will want to do a movie or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know him. But yeah, so that's one of my bizarre story ideas from Years After Leaving. Yeah, so that was one I thought of 2015. Now, so there was another one which was a rewrite of some of the elements of the old short stories all linked together, which became Weremarker, Saga, yet another sci-fi story. I do sci-fi. I know how to do that. And also, then the leftovers became the Silly Trek Saga, or what you now call Starship Locations, of which Star Trek Chimera is part of. And yes, that's all. Back to the Chimera thing. It is coming out. It's just not coming out this summer. It's coming out later. We don't have any new trailers because we don't have any new footage. So when we film it, when we get a weekend, film it. So yeah, that's my, I guess, for now, my review of everything. Yeah, good local acting stuff. I also went on to do other acting stuff at the church group, drama group thing, where I now volunteer the drama group Next Generation. Well, ironically though, I don't actually teach the drama part. I actually help them make the set stuff, or at least come up with the idea to make the set, or with the tech stuff sometimes, or snack or something. Yeah. Bonza. Anyway, so yeah, it was Silicon Valley Comic Con. Did I like it? Oh yeah, day one was fine. Day one was much more interesting than last time. Yeah. Yeah, it was last year was kind of like, this is technically their third year, but it's my second year doing it, so. And yeah, they used to be Big Wow Comic Fest. And although the Line Con wasn't as big, the Line Con for anyone inside is huge. And Stan Lee's line had already formed. Which kind of sucks for about probably like 70% of the people in that line. And there had to be like 800 people in that line. Is that okay? So let's say there were 700 people in that line. It was an hour. 2 hours before closing, or it was actually 2 hours before Stanley was going to go home, because he's old, and he was going to go home. So at 7, it was 5 when I left. So it was actually it was 6 when I left. So it was an hour before closing. and he was going to stop. So all those people who had to wait, those people are going to have to do it tomorrow, and they're going to be in line again. There's going to be 700 of those, 600 of the 700 people going to be waiting in line, and they're going to be pissed off. So there is a slight chance that if even a dozen of them are too annoyed to show up, that if I got there early enough and got in that line again, I might be able to get to see Stan Lee. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to film it. Well, last year I did get to see Uhura. I talked to Uhura. She was very tired and wanted to go home. She was like, I don't even want to be here today. She really didn't. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so the thing's compiled.